Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. I decided I'm gonna sit and film this episode like I normally would plan in the beginning of the week. Today's actually Monday, so it's not like filming the day before, which if you know, that's a big step for me, if we're being honest. But it is so cold, and I'm still sitting in my car, so of course I turned it off, so that's not background interruption or anything. But I feel like I'm so cold, I'm not focusing. I probably should just wait to record this, but I kind of don't want to, if I'm being honest. So yeah, it's 35 degrees where I live, which lately has actually been, I feel, kind of colder, but it just feels colder than that. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised to see that it's 35 degrees. I honestly was expecting to say 20 or something, but I'm just freezing. And for some reason, I shut off my car and I didn't want to wait anymore to record. I kind of just wanted to jump right into it. So I opened my door to have my car shut off, if that makes sense. When you take out the keys, but it takes a little bit for your car to shut off if you're just sitting there. So I kind of tried to speed up the process, open the door, everything turned off. But now, because I opened the door, I feel like I let a little draft in, so now it's just really cold. But anyways, speaking of the cold though, totally besides any type of point, no one asked, but I wore fuzzy socks to work today, and I feel like that was a power move within itself. But anyway, streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you stream your podcast, or we are here on YouTube, Girls Gotta Talk podcast. Come subscribe, join the fam over here. Loads of fun. I still upload to both. I've mentioned it every time. We're still doing just audio for the time being, but I still have been uploading onto streaming platforms as well as YouTube. So come subscribe, join us over here. But yeah, I'm kind of really excited for this episode. We are in December, which personally I think is crazy, because that means this year is ending, which means, I don't know what it is. Normally when we get to December, I feel okay, wow, you're yeah, another year has gone by. For some reason, at the end of this year, I do feel like this year has actually flown by, because I feel like once the new year starts, I kind of mentally think of, I don't know how to word this, oh my god, I mentally think of things when they're coming up. In the beginning of the year, it's my son's birthday's in X amount of months because he's in March, so it's oh, it's 2 months until his birthday, and then you'll have Mother's Day, and then you have Father's Day, and then you have family's birthday in between, and then my birthday's not until September. So by the time we're getting to where my birthday's coming up, I'm wow, we have basically gone through this year. After my birthday, there's 3 more months, and then now we're literally in December preparing for Christmas, and then once Christmas hits, you just have a week left. To me, that's crazy. And I feel like this year has actually been one of those years for me that feels I don't know, it's already over. What? Excuse me? I honestly feel like the year just started. So I never understood how people said that, but this year I do. So it's kind of been playing some mind games with me. But anyways, we're in December. I feel like the fun time is coming up. My son is 2.5, almost 3. Like I said, he'll turn 3 in March. So I feel like last year was just trying to get him to open presents and all this. I feel like this year he'll be a little more excited. He'll actually be able to open on his own. He'll be really excited. He'll love everything that he opens, that type of stuff. So this episode is gonna be kind of just throwing out ideas, but at the same time, I'm basically just talking to myself and mentally preparing on things that are gonna be happening this month specifically. So with that being said, this is gonna be winter activities or things to do this season. by calendar date, we're not technically in winter yet, but I feel like it's December. Like, it's just winter time. I don't even think of fall anymore. That's like October, November vibes, personally. But I feel like coming up on this season, there's just so many things to plan and look forward to. First thing being Santa's coming to town. I'm so excited. I really hope. So I know last year when we went to go take pictures with Santa, he was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. He was a little scared of Santa. He didn't want to really sit by himself. He cried. He has like one picture, I think, with just him and Santa, and he just has like full straight face, like mouth open, like, who is this guy? What am I doing on his lap type of situation. Hopefully this year will be a little better. I'm hoping he's not as scared. Last year he was also scared of the Christmas tree. We had a fake tree in the apartment that we lived in, so he wasn't really a fan of it with like the pokey or like the needles. He like hit it and he just was not a fan. He didn't want to go near the Christmas tree. It was one of those things where it's like if he had a toy over there, like he didn't want it anymore or someone needed to go and get it for him, he just would not go near the Christmas tree. Like, he wanted no part of that. I feel like at some points he started to be a little okay and go near it, and then I don't know if something like triggered it or what, but he was not feeling it. He was not about the Christmas tree at all. This year he's been like pointing out Christmas trees. I know I've taken him on some rides just through like neighborhoods, up and down streets, just looking at Christmas lights. We'll just put this out here too. I do want to take him through like drive-through things. I know there's like some things where you could like drive through like a whole bunch of lights set up situations, or I know there's some things you could like walk through. I feel like it's really cold for that though, but I feel like either one would be super fun. He's been so into lights lately that at this age, I feel like it'll be such a fun time to either drive. I would say walk through, but I really think like you would really have to be bundled up for that depending on where you'd go, because it is so cold at night. But anyways, he's been driving, and whenever we pass something, like he'll be like, "Oh, Christmas tree," or if he sees it, he'll be like, "Oh, Christmas tree." That he begged his father to like put up the Christmas tree already this year. So I'm super glad that he's like super excited and like pointing out trees. I'm hoping this year we'll kick hopefully 2 birds with 1 stone. He'll be not really scared of Santa anymore, and he'll like the Christmas tree. I feel like that to start off the season would be incredible and a total game changer, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I do want to go see Santa. Normally we just go to like the mall, and when he's there, Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, take pictures with them. That's definitely on like a winter bucket list, if you will. The next thing is, I know a couple places are hosting like little holiday train rides. I don't exactly know what they're actually called, but like in my mind, I'm thinking like Polar Express type vibes, if that makes sense. I know they have like Christmas lights all outside the train, and honestly, I don't necessarily know where they go to. I don't know if it's just they actually go to a destination or if they just ride around and there's activities or like stuff on the train, or we pass by like lights or some, I don't know. Like, this is what I have to look into, but I feel like that could be super fun. I just don't know. I want to see how long like these things last for, because honestly, I want to see if he'll even like sit that long on the train, especially if there's like nothing really to like look into or like look at when you're looking out the window. I don't know if he'll get bored or just be like, what's going on? And knowing my son, and he gets his antsiness from me, like I know that for sure. He'll want to get up and walk around, which you can't probably necessarily do on the train ride, but I want to look into A, what goes on during those things, and B, like where exactly they are to figure out which one I'd probably go to, if that makes sense. I feel like if there was like one that happened maybe after like snow, I feel like they'd probably cancel or like delay it if there was snow and everything, but I feel like that would be super cool to go through. But yeah, that's definitely something I have to look into, but I feel like those seem really cool and fun, so I want that to potentially happen this year. We'll see how all that goes and what I find when I do my research on this. The next thing. Not that I'm praying for any type of snow, honestly. I'm the type of person where, like, once the first snow happens, I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. That's really nice. But, like, after that, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, I don't want any more snow. I don't want any more snowstorms. Like, no, like, I don't live in an area where, like, if it snows, we typically get, like, a bunch of snow. Like, I know if you look into, like, Colorado and, like, Michigan and all that stuff, like, Minnesota, they get, like, snow. Like, they get cold winters, they get a bunch of snow. Like, I don't live in an area where, like, we get, like, that. Yes, it gets really cold over here. Yes, we've had times where we've had, like, blizzards and feet of snow and no power and couldn't get anywhere. But I'm okay with, like, a few inches and, like, that's it. Honestly, like, I don't want to sit here and have, like, 6 feet of snow. I don't want to be, like, trapped somewhere. Yeah, no, like, I don't, that's not my type of vibe. But I do this year actually want just a little bit of snow. My son has never experienced, like, playing out in the snow. He's seen snow, and we've had, like, I think a snowstorm last year where there was some, but he was just not into playing with it. It was obviously, like, super cold, but he just was not a fan of it yet. I think he was too young and was just like, what is going on here? But I feel like this year he'll actually have, like, a ton of fun in the snow, so I do want a little bit to take him, like, sledding and just playing in the snow. I've never been one to, like, sit and build a snowman. I feel like that's just, like, a movie type of thing. Never tried to do that, but that could potentially be a good time. But just enough to, like, get him out and experience it. And I feel like because he's turned into, like, such a silly little boy that you have, like, even if you're just throwing, like, a little dusting or, like, something towards him, like, he'll get into it and be, like, throwing it back and just having, like, such a fun time. I don't know, I'm kind of, like, thinking about it and getting really excited, so I do want, honestly, a little bit this year, like I said, just to have him experience it and see it and get into the fun of all that. I feel like he'll love sledding, so probably find a spot to go and take him. That's kind of, I know some places you go could be, like, really steep hills. I just need something kind of kid-friendly because, like I said, he's only 2, so I don't need him, like, flying off a sled or anything, but enough to where it's, like, a little, like, woo moment, and he wants to go again, and an hour later, we're still, like, sledding. But, yeah, I know I used to end up at a park in the hometown I lived in, and loved it. So I feel like hopefully he'll enjoy it the same. I just think it'll be really fun. The next thing that I had was kind of like a Christmas movie marathon night type of vibe, which I feel like can go right after the sledding moment, kind of come in. I used to love coming in after being outside in the snow and having hot chocolate. I know in the house I grew up in, we also had a fireplace, so, like, having the fire lit, sitting by that, trying to warm up, but also, like, I don't know, just the aesthetic of a fireplace is super nice. But even coming in, hot chocolate type of vibe, and putting on a movie, I feel like can make such a fun night. I don't know, like, it's just something about it. I don't know if it's just, like, a winter aesthetic situation. It's kind of like one of those things you see in, like, a movie where you're outside, next thing you know, you're inside cuddled up in blankets and a movie's on, and I don't know, like, you're just sitting there with, like, a warm drink, like cookies, candy, like something type of relaxing night. I totally picture one of those. Like, I I don't know, I feel like that just fits a winter vibe, especially if there's still snow falling outside. Not necessarily that like a storm just happened, but it's still snowing, so like you know it's cold outside, but you're so like cozy, cuddled up inside. Um, I don't know what movies he would necessarily be into. Movie nights might end up just happening like by myself, but totally okay with that. I did watch Elf and the first Santa Claus already this year. Honestly, on Thanksgiving, I was like, okay, Thanksgiving night, like it's basically Christmas time. Like now that Thanksgiving's actually over, no one can complain about Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet because it did happen really late this year. But I feel like at that point, no one can say that it's not even Thanksgiving, like Christmas stuff can't be out, no Christmas music, blah, blah, blah. I've been listening to Christmas music, honestly, for like a month already, but that's besides the point. I feel like now that Thanksgiving's over, or it was over, by like 10 o'clock Thanksgiving night, I had the Elf on, and that's what I fell asleep to, honestly. And I feel like it was so relaxing and peaceful. I was so about it. I don't know what movies to maybe get my son into. I don't know if I'll start with like Elf, with it being funny, or like Santa Claus or something. Maybe then if we watch Santa Claus, he won't be scared of Santa Claus when we go to see him. Or if I should put on like some of the animated shows, because I know there's like animated ones. I just never really watched the animated any type of Christmas anything, so I wouldn't really know what to go towards. But I don't know. I feel like just one night, load up, queue up some Christmas movies can be such a fun night. And then, like I said, going along with that, Christmas cookies. I really want to make Christmas cookies with my son in a way of he could actually like, I don't know, sit on a chair, or I know there's like stools you could get where like they're kid friendly and he can stand in it and be like at the height on the table without necessarily like being able to climb onto it. And I feel like something where he could actually get his hands in and help me, and it's obviously like safe to eat. Like I obviously don't want him eating like raw cookie dough or anything he's not supposed to eat. Like I want to get something where like if he ends up eating it, like he'll be okay. Not that I obviously want him to eating too much of it, but something he could just come and help me with, whether it's like mixing something in a bowl or like trying to roll cookies for like the tray to put in the oven. Just something super like simple almost that he could help me put together. We could throw in the oven, obviously both enjoy afterwards, or maybe like sugar cookies to throw in and he can help me like decorate them, like frosting or sprinkle wise. I don't know, I just feel like that'll be so much fun and a good way to like wrap up a night one of these days. But I don't know, like all of that just sounds so exciting to me, and I feel like I said, with like the snow and his age, I feel like he's at such a fun age that him getting involved is just like where he's at. He always wants to like be with you in the kitchen, which I try to not have him be so close, especially if I'm like cooking or opening the oven, because I obviously don't want him to get hurt. But I don't know, something like that where it's like you can help me either when they come out, as long as they're not too hot, or like you could help me make them before they go in the oven. Just something that'll keep him kind of occupied in a sense, but at the same time, like he's having fun doing it, if that makes sense. But I feel like now we're entering that era of the year, and I'm super, 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 super excited for, and I can't wait to do some of like the firsts with him. Like when we go see Santa, or like I said, maybe like a train ride thing. Christmas this year will be totally different age-wise and everything, so I'm super excited to see how all this plays out this year. Still thinking that like Christmas is coming up in honestly a few weeks is crazy to me, but it's also a super exciting time. So like I said, we'll just see how it all plays out, how he enjoys these things. And yeah, honestly, that's all I have for this episode. I do have a few things, like I said, I need to research, and I'm super excited to look into all that. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys. Hopefully I have the same ideas you guys did with this holiday season. I hope you guys, I'll have a few more episodes beforehand, but I hope you guys have a great season, great holiday season with whatever you celebrate. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week back with a brand new episode. Bye.